All right, we are live, pre-roll.
Okay.
We have a solution. The Wine No Wine Show, where you can be friended and offended all in the same hour, where we gather people from all different walks of life and perspectives, and we talk about everything that everyone has told you not to. Religion, politics, and everything under the sun. Nothing is off limits, and we do it all over a glass of wine. So grab a glass and join us as we save America, one civil conversation at a time.
3, 2, 1, action!
Welcome to the Art of Dispute.
Yes.
I want like an amphitheater, like an Astrodome level of fake soundtrack. That's obvious. It's like completely not real. Yes, like edited, like a '70s like Pink Floyd concert or something.
I literally do that on stage every single time. Whenever nobody claps, I'm like, and the crowd goes wild. And I just put the microphone up in my face, and I'm like, shh, shh.
I want that. We're gonna have it. It'll work. It's gonna be a thing. It's gonna be a thing. Yes, welcome to the Art of Dispute, the only show where you can be friended and offended all in the same hour. People like tune in for the first time. They're like, "Hey, I like this guy." Wait a minute. That guy's a jerk. We're gonna have a great show today. We got some awesome guests on. The comedy just hit people behind the camera. Right? They're just slowly getting the humor. Yeah, that's how my life goes. All right, I'm like a bad comedian. Ahead of my time.
They call that a comedian.
A comedian, yes. Yes, we've got a fun show planned today. We've got a pretty crazy topic. It's a hot topic. I tell you, it's definitely like in the news. People are talking about it. It's a regular issue that comes up. I got some stuff that I'm gonna throw on y'all we didn't talk about before the show because that's how it works, right? And we're talking about today. The subject is gender binary, male, female only, or is it more of a spectrum? Kind of like wherever you land in there, however you feel about it, that kind of thing. So before we dive into the topic, I always like to give our guests the opportunity to have a shameless plug. Promote whatever you want. Keep it to like a minute-ish, right? We're not rewriting a novel or anything here. Where we put on the bottom of the scene 3 hours later. And it's still on, and it's still on Amethyst's turn.
Yeah, right? Okay.
Her name's Angie. I'm just gonna like blow it and name her every other A name throughout the show.
Okay, we had this little thing earlier.
Yes, it's behind the scenes humor.
Anyway, so my name's Angie Emerson. I'm part of a band called XIII with Cisco Ruiz, and we are located in the Lake area. We play all over that side of town. We play sometimes in Galveston, Houston. We're trying to travel more outside in different states.
Cool.
So we're starting to write more music. We're in the studio now, but primarily we do like cover shows and like classic rock cover shows around town.
Right on.
So,
Do you have a page or anywhere they can find y'all?
yes, if you look up at the Reds 13, that's THEREDS XIII. Yeah, I know it's ridiculous, but yeah, that's us.
The lead singer just said their name's ridiculous. All right. What?
Well, the way that you
go about it.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's complicated.
All you Final Fantasy nerds out there would get it.
There you go. There you go. All right. Well, and I got to tell you guys, make sure you stick around for the end of the show. We were already hearing a little rehearsal. Freaking awesome song. I cannot wait to let them bust it out at the end of the show. It's going to be what we close the show with, so you guys stick around for the candy. So,
Candy.
yes. Cal?
Hey, thanks for having us back, Joe.
Yeah.
I'm Calvin Weaver with C&W Music Promotions. We have great sponsors such as Texas PCRX and Beam Benders Engraving. Now we're working with Hustletown Network here on the show this Friday. Come out to Moonshine Hill. It's going to be our annual Halloween classic wedding anniversary show with Gypsy Moon Band and 3 Eye Raven out of San Antonio.
Yeah.
All original classic rock. So if y'all looking for a great promoter and for someone to make sure your music is known, you know, we just go to C&W Music Promotions Facebook. That's all we use.
Right on.
Pretty simple.
Cool. All right, Patrick.
Yep, Patrick Villarreal. Patrick's painting and remodeling. I fix houses. I can do small projects, big projects. I specialize in bathrooms.
Bathrooms.
That's my specialty. I really love doing bathrooms.
Right on. Very cool. Very cool.
That's it.
All right, guys. This is a hot topic. It's a hard subject. I want you guys to give me just kind of your bullet point, 1 minute. What's your thoughts on this subject? Don't dive in too deep or debate each other yet. We're going to get there, trust me. But just give me your idea on where you stand on this. Is gender binary, male, female only, or is it more like a spectrum? Why? What are your thoughts on it? Take it away, Audrey.
Okay, well, my thought process on it is, obviously I'm for anyone being who they are. And if that's who they are, then they so choose to become a male or a female when they're...
I hate when other people try to be me.
Right? Nobody should...
Be yourself,
just
man.
Be yourself.
Stick to you.
And a lot of people say that, you know, they were born that way and that they've, ever since they were a little kid, that's how they felt. And eventually, whenever they become an adult, they're just like, okay.
I was not born this way.
Yeah.
I had hair.
Oh, that's bad.
Actually, now that I think about it, I came in a lot like I look like right now.
You know, babies do look really like old
little
men.
old people. Yeah,
like
old
little
people.
old
True
people.
story.
They're all crumbly and like weird.
Yeah.
And they even have that stuff on Facebook where they have like the full blown images of like all these ugly babies, and you're like, oh my god, it's like Benjamin Button backwards.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah. Anyway, but you know, we'll delve more into it later. But what about you?
All right, Calvin.
You know, as long as you follow your path of what you feel you should be, as long as you stick to that path instead of, you know, jumping from one gender to the other, undecisive of what you actually are. I don't understand. Well, I'm born a male, but I want to be female, but I'm gonna like the males all the time. You know, so I don't understand why there's a jump back and forth. So me, it's just I don't understand the topic. Really. I don't know. It's just odd to me. But I've had great friends that are, you know, transgender. You know, can't say that they're bad people. Just undecisive people.
They're not bad, they're just indecisive.
Let me have another glass of wine.
Yes. No, I like that. All right.
Yeah.
Yep.
Go ahead, your turn.
All right.
It's gender binary, more like a spectrum. Why? What's your
Binary,
thoughts?
male, female, period. Because
science.
Science. Throwing the big S word out there.
Weird
Science. Yes. Yeah. I was having. Who was that? Herbie Hancock. Was that? Who was it?
Weird science.
Science.
Yeah.
I'm old. I'm now hearing this in my. It was Herbie. Was it Herbie Hancock? Wasn't it?
Michael Anthony Hall.
Oh gosh, yeah. Okay, so there's a
It's a good
weird
movie.
flashback.
Right.
Yeah, and Weird Science. That was Catherine Bach. Catherine Bach. Wasn't that her name?
Right.
Like
I think so.
she only did like a couple flicks back.
That was her main one.
Yeah.
yeah, it was a good one.
That was like every teenager's fantasy movie right there. Like a
You
couple
know, balls
nerds,
on the head. And
couple nerds figuring out how to you
How to
know
make-
a woman that actually likes them. So.
Yeah.
I saw that movie 10 times. No.
Of course you did.
It's a masterpiece of
What
film
was that?
cinematography.
What was that code he put in again?
Yeah, right. I followed the code. Yeah. Despite how hard it worked, so.
Yeah. Okay, so
This awkward moment brought to you by. Yeah, I think it's a good time to mention our alcohol sponsor.
One more sip. Just one
right?
more sip.
Right? We do have an alcohol sponsor. Let's give them a shout out.
Is this the one?
Huh?
This?
No,
Oh,
that's
wait. Well,
just
you just told me to drink out of his glass.
right.
I just
You're
assumed it was something special.
you're good. The wife doesn't even know I snuck her Aspen mugs out of the house, so I'm just have to be on the down low on that. So
Shame on
I'm
us.
kidding. She
Yeah,
knows.
She's
knows.
obviously watching us right
Yes.
Only
now.
thousands.
She knows.
Only
We're
thousands.
broadcasting across the
We have right. And she knows. She actually knows.
And
No,
for
we
the
have
millions watching
our
around the world.
alcohol sponsor is the Grain Cellar out in Humble. Super cool cats. Preston is the owner of the place out there. If you guys ever wanted to learn how to brew your own beer, make your own wine, freaking awesome stuff. The dude's a guru off the charts, and just it's cool. It's fun. It's a fun subject. I have a lot of friends that like to brew and do their own thing, and so he's a great shop out there. But anyway, he provides the adult beverages for the show. So,
Thank
rock,
you.
rock and roll. Yeah,
Thank
thank
you.
you.
Mention
Cheers
great.
to cheers to Preston there.
Take a little bit of the edge
There we
off
go.
there,
There we go.
everybody.
There we go.
Why not?
Salute. Clickable moments.
So,
Clickable
yes.
moments.
There we go.
Salute.
So when we come back, we're gonna take a break here in a second. We got a commercial break from one of our sponsors. When we come back, we've got the time for you guys to really kind of start diving in and disagreeing with each other.
Right?
Patrick's got a hard stop over there because science. Calvin's kind of in the middle here with you can switch teams, but whatever team you join, stay to that team. Right?
Yeah.
And you've kind of voiced the I won't say it's like you're like dramatically opposed or anything, but you're on the other side with it's a spectrum kind of view, yeah, sort of.
Yeah, sort of. I've got many friends that I've talked to about it, and they've put their 2 cents in it, and I was able to kind of understand what their view about it was coming from the people that are actually dealing with it. So.
Yeah. All right. When we come back, we're gonna dive in. All right. Another word.
All right, we're back.
And we're back. And we're back. The fun stuff that happens behind the scenes. Welcome back to the Art of Dispute, the only show where you can be friended and offended all in the same hour. That was one of our really cool sponsors, brand new sponsor by the way, Matt Blanken, the coolest mortgage cat in town. He's actually, I had lunch with him yesterday, man. We shot the bull for like 2 hours. That dude is a beast. And he has competed in 10 Ironmans. Like,
Wow.
not just a marathon. It's like,
Yeah.
it's like if you're bored, you do a marathon and you swim for like a couple miles and then you like in an ocean, like crazy.
God, man, 5 minutes running for me, and I'm like,
Yeah, I mean,
lungs
he's
are just
he's
like
a beast, man.
cramping.
Yeah, so and he's just a super cool cat, man, and he really knows his stuff. He's been in the mortgage business for like 20 freaking years. So yeah, if you guys ever need help with the mortgage loan thing, he will definitely take care of you. And so yeah, brand new sponsor. So we just doing his little commercial there. So what are y'all's thoughts, guys? Y'all out there watching today, you need to chime in with your comments because the guests are going to be able to hear your comments in a little while and respond to your comments. You guys are as much a part of the show as the guests on the show, except y'all don't get the free adult beverages.
Yeah.
So
You gotta buy your own.
that's right. Buy your own. Crack a beer, pour a glass of
Saturday.
wine. It's Saturday.
5
That's
o'clock
right.
somewhere.
It's 5 o'clock somewhere. What is your thoughts? Is gender binary, male, female only, or more like a spectrum? All right. I know you guys have some thoughts on this. You had
I wanna
pretty
hear
hard
what-
stance.
Yeah.
Yeah. You kind of open it up and y'all kind of respond to it.
Okay. Well, if you take a blood sample or a DNA sample, the person in the laboratory will be able to determine if this is a male or female based on chromosomes and DNA and its period in the story. That's it. There's no other way to go about it, no other way to look at it. Whatever you feel on the inside is fine, but what you feel may not be reality.
How do you feel? I mean, like, you know, I think we've had for, you know, as long as humanity's been around, there's certainly been a segment of the population that expresses themselves in ways that are different than the majority, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's probably old as, you know, humans.
Right.
What do you think? Like, what do you think's going on there? I mean, like, I tend to be a pretty much science. I'm kind of with you in a sense, you know. I'm with you in a lot of ways on that point. That I'm all about science. I know I can pretty objectively and factually, like you said, test the chromosomes and et cetera. And there's ways that we can very distinctly tell who you are, right? I don't need to see you. You could be from across the world. Doesn't matter. I can still test the DNA. I can test all that. Blood. There's a number of different. I don't know if blood tell me sex. I don't think so. Anyway, that was random thoughts. But anyway, the point being, you can test and you can definitely objectively figure that out, right? But we have this group of people that you know, they definitely don't feel like what the body's showing them. You know, I mean, like, what's that about for you?
Well, you mentioned a segment of people and a group of people who think differently, perhaps act differently. What I see is that group of people being, or could be, an example, it would be artists, people who paint, people who draw. There's a certain other part of the brain that's working more actively, I think, than the logical side. So you have the creativity and you have the openness to draw in different things into your mind and to express them. I don't know if somehow that creativity leaks over into your sexuality or not. I have no idea. But I completely accept that people feel different. People feel the way that they do. That's fine. That's not a problem. Where I have a problem is forcing me to accept what you believe yourself to be.
Yeah. I think where it's we've talked about this subject from a few different angles, and that kind of is a regular point that comes up. It's like pretty much nobody, like, do whatever you want to do. That's most people, right? It's when you're doing what you want to do starts kind of getting over into my world and messing with my do what I want to do, that it becomes a problem.
Right.
And
that's what I feel like. As long as you're not trying to make me do what you're wanting to do, I'm fine with what you want to do.
Yeah.
I want to stay who I am. Don't try to convince me to be like you when I'm not like you.
I watched a video online where a person argued with another person that if you didn't use that person's preferred gender pronouns, then they were committing an act of violence against that person.
Well,
and they want to, from that, legislate. Like, you're actually committing a crime by not acknowledging that person's gender pronouns.
here's my thing. It's like, yeah, a lot of people are just uneducated about it.
Right.
And so I think
Very true.
If maybe people put more education for us to understand, you know, what each, you know, kind of category that we're supposed to be putting these people in, because you can't just, you know, somebody may be cisgendered. I mean, I don't even know what that means, really, but that was just one term that I've heard, you know, along the spectrum, or what have you. But, you know, if they went out and did some sort of, you know, like movement, a book, something that we can read and acknowledge that it is, in fact, something that, you know, we cannot be so ignorant about. Then
yeah, you know, I mean, I think at the end of the day, I think humans tend to suck in how they deal with each other. And if, like, as soon as you're out of the herd, herd mentality is just like, I've got to beat you into line. Because if you step out of the herd, that's dangerous for you. From a, you know, like an evolutionary thinking kind of thing. We're roaming around, saber-toothed tiger is out there, and if you step out of the herd, the saber-toothed tiger is going to single you out and eat you, right? And so we had a motivation as a herd and as group think to protect that person. when they stepped out of the herd and were acting different, behaving different, doing different. Like, no, we got to beat you down and because you're being stupid right now because Sabretooth's about to eat your butt.
Right.
You know, get back in the herd. And so I think that behavior still kind of sticks around, that we generally kind of suck as humans when a person steps out of the herd and they're different.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter how they're different, right? And you're an entrepreneur, you're an entrepreneur, you're an entrepreneur, right? I guarantee you have all experienced friends, family, someone, somewhere along the line saying you should really just get a real job or a stable job or you know go to school,
Oh, God.
right? That's all the herd.
Last 2 months. Last 2 months straight.
So many
right?
people have told me that I couldn't do something.
Right? That's all the herd beating you down in your best interest.
Yeah.
Right? They're trying to show love in their weird jacked up way of saying you're doing something that's making you step outside the herd, consequently you look weird to us, and it means the saber-tooth is about to eat you. So out of love, I'm going to try to get you back into the herd and make you do herd stuff, and that way we have the best chance of survival. That's all that's going on. And that happens with the folks with the transgender thing, right? Same kind of deal. They're stepping out of the herd and getting a kind of a whole deal going on that they get beat down for that kind of that behavior. So, I don't know. I talked a whole lot there. You share your thoughts on this, you know, based on what he said. You know, like hard science stance. How do you feel about that?
I mean, there's no denying that. I mean, I'm not going to deny that is hard science. We are male and female, and like I said, you know, it comes back down to what people talk about being gay or lesbian. Like, I truly believe that isn't a choice. I truly believe that you are born into that. And whenever it comes to being transgender, that's something that you choose later on in life. You're not going to be transgender whenever you pop out of your mother's, you know, hoo-ha or whatever. I'm just saying.
Hoo-ha.
She's using technical science terms on the show.
Yes, I wanted to be like, you know, a little bit.
That's a Wendy's term.
A hoo-ha.
But yeah, so.
No.
I just filtered like 3 or 4 thoughts right there. Gonna keep the show PG, Joe. Keep it PG.
Hoo-ha.
I mean, hoo-ha! Come on, we're in Texas, guys.
No.
Yeah.
Here's the thing. To further delineate this science thing. If I believed wholeheartedly that I was a chicken, I am wearing chicken feathers, I'm pecking around the yard for bugs, I'm clucking, I don't have a bed, I have some hay in the corner. I totally believe it. 100%. And when someone asks Joe, who is that? Oh, that's Patrick. He thinks he's a chicken.
Patrickin.
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 But the sentence says it all. Patrick, that's Patrick. He thinks he's a chicken.
Right.
He thinks he is a chicken.
Right.
Because it's obvious to everybody that I'm not a
Then
chicken.
you got those people that
It's
come
obvious.
in that are men and say, I am a woman. I
Or-
was born a
How-
woman.
and
It's
Or
see,
like
you're a
and
furry.
here's
You
the other
guys-
part of my example. Here's the
spirituality. Say, like, so everybody has a spiritual path. I mean,
Yeah.
I believe in that truly because of
Mhm.
my religion. If I'm born a man, but spiritually I act like a woman, I do. I mean, I'm a woman, and then they're gonna follow the spiritual path. I mean,
Yeah, I think it's on the inside on that one.
it's an inside
It's
feeling.
very-
That's where it comes to hormones. I mean,
I can't.
hormones.
It could be a
hormones
hormonal
have take-
imbalance. It could be something.
It could be anything.
How many
it could
times
be
have you
you need
heard
psychological
that
help.
a man was born with women hormones? How many
We got
times-
lots of
Look,
questions.
Look. Oh,
I mean,
we're
We
going
got
to
a lot, we got lots of questions, and we got a break already. It happens fast. So when we come back, we're gonna dive into this a little more. We got some audience feedback. We got comments happening, so we're gonna address some comments. We'll be right back after a word from our sponsor.
Phil and Derek's Restaurant and Jazz Bar, located in the midst of bustling Midtown in Houston. You'll find a laid-back atmosphere and ambiance reminiscent of the comfort of your own living room, coupled with the flair of pizzazz and glitz from live New York-style cabaret entertainment 7 nights a week. Phil and Derek's is not only the ideal restaurant with a great, long-standing wine selection, but also with a full bar as well. Phil and Derek's stock and knowledge of wines, from Napa Valley wines, French Bordeaux, Spanish and Argentinian wines, just to name a few, are the envy of wine connoisseurs far and wide. Phil and Derek's Sunday Brunch was voted best morning after brunch for 3 consecutive years. Come indulge in the ample buffet of crepes, omelets, various salads, meats, complimentary mimosas, and much, much more. Enjoy delicious foods from the kitchen until midnight. We're equipped with large dining areas, ideal for every party need, whether business or pleasure. Come see and enjoy all that Phil and Derek's has to offer.
And we're back! Patrick blew up. He imploded a second ago. The EMS just cleared out a seat, and
the wine will spiritually bring him back.
The FBI is already on scene. Yeah.
3, 2, 1.
And
spiritually
magic!
with the
Bam!
wine.
Yeah, there we go.
Gotta get his wine.
Had to get a reload.
That's right. Patrick is partaking in the
red?
sponsorship.
Yeah. Adult beverage. I like
Yes,
red.
the sponsorship of the adult beverages. Yes. All right, so we got a great topic going on here. And is gender binary? Is it more like a spectrum? We got audience comments at some point. We're going to chime in with that. And I don't even know. Do we have comments yet, Chris?
No.
We're not. We're not
I'm
ready to
almost
go.
there.
That's all right. That's all right. I tasked Chris with the whole brand thing he had to do here in 1 minute, like, you know, during the break.
Right.
And,
That's not like a whole lot of time.
right. We play a game. I don't even know. Do we have the cards, Chris? Do we even have the cards? I think so. Yeah, we got the cards.
Yeah,
the
they're
fact
underneath
fiction
that
cards.
desk in front
I
of
may
us.
even have questions, dude. Next break, we'll handle it. I think I got it. We'll make it work. We'll make it work. So, welcome back to the show. I missed the button on the timer, so I don't even know what time it is now. I'm lost. That was roughly like a minute and a half right there.
Something.
Yeah.
So if I could pick up from where I
absolutely
was.
dive
Okay,
in.
I gave the chicken example. I'm not a chicken. It's obvious. But if I feel and act and
He's not talking
behave
about a metaphorical
and,
chicken.
If I do all of my chicken thing, it doesn't hurt anybody else.
Right.
And that's the same way that I feel about this gender fluidity and all of that. If you're a man and you want to dress like a woman, I don't care. It's fine.
Right.
You're still a man dressed as a woman. If you want to say that you are a woman, I still don't care. Because you're a guy who thinks he's a woman. Doesn't bother me. Doesn't affect my life at all. But to try and make me say and agree by force of law that you are a she, I'm not going to do it.
And I give you guys, and I'll be interested in your thoughts on this. This is kind of that is kind of a common mindset that a lot of people express, right? No matter where you land on accepting, not accepting, whatever, most people that I talked about this are like, as long as it doesn't affect me, I don't really care. Do whatever the heck you want to do. Right? You want to be a chicken, be a chicken. Right? But when it starts entering into the real world of my day-to-day life and how, you know, I make money and jobs and, you know, all this kind of stuff, now it starts to matter. And I'll give you an example. Very recently, a transgender male to female competed in a international cycling contest and won a silver medal. So,
Gold.
huh?
I think it was gold.
Silver. It was silver. Right? Because the first place person, I literally just read the article, so I like because this was on the list, I went and looked at some stuff, and both the first and third place people were previously like okay with it, but now they were dealing with it. It was now entering into their world.
Because they think that,
right?
Oh, this is the physique of a man, and then
Right.
this
So,
is a woman.
and when you see the three people next to each other, the woman in the middle with the silver medal, like towered over the other two by like, 6-8 inches, and was large, and the two females next to the female in the middle were, that was the picture. And there was a fourth place person who got bumped, right, because of the silver medal. And the first and the third place positions both were like, I don't know if I'm cool with this anymore. Because all the people involved felt like there was a definite physical advantage for that person. And again, this is kind of goes back to the science thing.
And there is a definite advantage.
There's a bone structure difference. There's a difference in shoulders. There's a difference in.
I got a comment here. We're ready for you when you're all right. When you're ready. So
that's
where
it kind of starts bumping into real life.
And
how do we deal with that? And how are we
fair
fair to all parties involved?
Right?
Well, you were right that man and woman, and we do have different physiques. Do I think that the capability that we have can't, outshine each other? I think that we all have the capability to do the same things, in my opinion. So, yeah, if she was a lot larger and she was more built, then
she's the same gender.
She was a man.
She was a he.
She's a he.
And then turned into a
who's
woman.
competing in the women's
But
category.
they allowed her to be in it because she is.
Because
she's
felt
transitioning.
Like, he felt like a
It
woman.
shouldn't be an issue because everybody in a group agreed to allow this to be in there.
Yeah, it's...
Except the competitors in it who are just kind of stuck with it.
Because they were butthurt because they agreed with something that beat them in the end.
Well, what if they don't agree with it, but they're competing in a sport where the people who authorize or oversee the sport say, I don't really care if you agree or not, you're a competitor, we're the ones that set the rules, and we're going to allow this guy who's transitioned to being a female to compete. And you're like, whoa, hold up, that's not cool. And what if it was like a physical sport, because this is happening in MMA.
They only spoke up when they lost.
What if they speak up before? What if they speak up before?
They should have spoken up.
Yeah,
I agree with that.
It's not that I disagree. I'm setting like, what if they did? What if they spoke up and the people that are conducting the sport say, well, you're a bigot. You're a horrible human being because you don't go along with this. We're going to let them compete and accept that they're a female because they've said they're a female and they've transitioned.
In a voting world, there's a majority. Exactly. The majority rules usually.
Wait a minute, did Bruce Jenner win Woman of the Year recently?
I think that he was acknowledged as a Woman of the Year by Time magazine or something like that.
I kind of thought that being Woman of the Year, one of the prerequisites would be that you're actually a woman.
Yeah, so there's the debate.
That's just my thing. I'm not going to be NFL Player of the Year because I'm not in the NFL. Not part of that group.
But see, that's the argument from the other side of the table is that he's transitioning, so therefore he is.
Well, if he hadn't transitioned yet,
I think he's still got the junk.
He still has the junk.
But he changed the junk.
And he himself will say that he's not a woman. He just likes wearing dresses.
There are the ones that go and actually have the medical procedure to change the junk.
Absolutely.
I think.
But science, DNA.
And even if you change the junk, does that make you?
Nope. You ain't never gonna have a baby.
Why?
Well,
is having a baby a definition of?
Yeah, it doesn't have to mean
that
that defines you as a person or as a woman or a female too.
Because there's definitely women who don't have babies.
Like
and not able.
We've proven in science.
There's some who can and choose not to, and then there's some who just.
But we have proven in science you can manipulate the DNA.
Right.
We have proven. So who's to say that we cannot have a man?
The questions on the table here. I know we got a comment from a guest. So I want to take this and see what you guys think. We're going to cut to Chris here, co-host of the Art
Reviews. Welcome. I got Nichole, one of our production guys, doing sound. Amazing sound guy. He says, I've often heard that sex and gender are not mutually exclusive. However, you see people that don't believe in binary systems. However, embrace these gender identities that include sex organs. So how does this work? How do you say you can't be one way, but you can be totally opposite on the other side? I think that's what he's getting at. So, I know I see you looking at me, Joe. Don't look at me like that. He says, I often hear people, they believe that you can be gay or you can be right. Is that what I'm getting at here?
You have people that want to say that they are a gender while excluding sex, but then they go through the process of trying to
become that sex,
transition into that sex. And it seems almost counterproductive.
It seems to violate their own argument.
Yeah.
Right. So in other words, I know where he's going with this,
Confused.
right?
Confused,
So
they need some
in other words,
psychological help.
that like forever, sex and gender has meant the exact same thing. They're not different things, right? By definition, they're not. But in the last however many years, 5-10 years, since this has really kind of become a thing, they've tried to distinguish the two and separate the two. Like, oh, your sex is what you're talking about. Your sex is male, female, can't change that. That is science. However, your gender is a spectrum. And that's because it's more mental and it's more like how you think and about your sexuality. So they've tried to separate the two and say that's the thing, right? So that's really a position, that's where they're coming from. So to the question the person that's asking here, Nick, on our production crew, was saying that you'll get that person who makes that argument that sex and gender is distinct and separate, yet they want to go through a surgery to manipulate their body, to change their body to look like the sex that they're expressing in their gender. See what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that actually seems very contradictory to their own argument. If gender and sex are separate and one's a feeling and one is just science and what you can't change, then why are you concerned about changing your appearance to match what your sex is? See what I'm saying? Does that make sense? It does seem to be like kind of a self-defeating kind of an argument, if I express that right.
See, all that's just too complicated for me.
It does get
guy.
hairy. It's a sicky subject.
Male, female. That's it. And if you want to feel like and do all kind of other stuff, that's fine. Whatever. Doesn't bother me.
Wow. That's heavy duty stuff.
I am whatever you say.
All right, I know we got a
Why would
break.
you
I
say
know we've got a break
No.
again. It flies by.
I am what I say I am, which leads to that, the fluidity, right?
Right.
I am what I say I am.
Right.
So on that note, we're the same page as far as that goes.
But in the end, we are all one and the same.
Well, we're
all
talking
one.
spiritual stuff.
We're-
Yeah.
yeah.
All right, we got another commercial break we got to do here.
Spirituality, man.
Right. We got another commercial break we got to do. We're going to be right back after a word from our sponsors who help us pay for everything.
Do you suffer from chronic back pain? There is a solution to the suffering. The Body Mechanics, an orthopedic and medical massage focused practice that specializes in helping clients work through and overcome musculoskeletal injuries and chronic pain. By applying our science-based concepts through the art of massage therapy techniques, we can help you eliminate that pain. At The Body Mechanics, we take it as our responsibility to provide our clients with the highest level of care. We take time to get to know you, your history, and your obstacles, and most importantly, your wellness goals. We help you meet your goals through skillfully applied advanced massage therapy techniques and recommending self-care routines to improve overall well-being. Come in today and let The Body Mechanics apply our years of training and expertise to soothe away your aches. Mention this ad and receive our functional movement assessment for free, a $35 savings.
There you go.
And we're back. Woo! A minute really isn't a long enough time for a break. It's not. When we go to TV, because that's why we're doing this. We're going to TV. Shout out, right? We're going to be going to TV the next month. We have to get used to a break every freaking 11 minutes. But on TV, it's going to be like a 3 to 4 minute break because they run like 3 to 4 minutes worth of commercials. Yeah. So we have our sponsors and it's just like 1 minute slots. Which, by the way, that was Body Mechanics, a good friend of mine, Chelsea Connolly, up in Longview, Texas, home of Matthew McConaughey. So there you go.
Okay.
Right?
All
Right.
right.
That's their single claim to fame.
Go ahead, give us some dollars on the can.
Yeah, what I love about
I-
the artist view.
What?
We all can agree and disagree at the same time.
There you go.
Exactly.
Exactly.
That's exactly right. So I also want to give a shout out to Nichole Thalji with EXP Realty. We don't have a commercial for her. She just loves the show and just sponsors us just because, which is really, really cool. we're working on a commercial for her. Like, just hadn't been able to pin her down to get something done. But super cool chick. If you need any real estate stuff taken care of, she's definitely your go-to girl. And just a great human being. I really, really like her. We were talking, Chris and I met with a sponsor yesterday. I'll just say this real quick. Shout out to all of our sponsors all at the same time. And somebody that's interested in sponsoring the show. I said, I've turned down more sponsors than we actually have because I have one primary requirement for all the sponsors, and that is that they love the mission of the show first. Like, we're going to get you business. It's cool. You know, we got a lot of eyeballs on the show, big things happening, going to TV and stuff, but I need to know that you're about the mission. Eyeballs are transient. Like today we may have 20,000. Tomorrow we may have 2,000. Whatever. You know, it's up and down. Whatever. We follow all that stuff. It's important. Don't get me wrong. But I want to know that the people are like on board with what we're doing, because we really are trying to save America, man. We're trying to teach people we can sit down and have these hardcore different positions, but be cool to each other. And
it's all about kindness.
And you know, I gotta say it. And that's about our mission: unity in the community to eliminate hate through the power of music.
There we go. Right. Our mission's very much in line. He's doing his thing. He's got his gig, and his mission statement is very much in line with ours. So anyway, that was a whole big sponsor shout out. So you guys make sure to show the sponsors some love, because they definitely are a big part of making the show happen and keeping it going. And that sort of
sounds like we're about ready for some fact and fiction.
I think we're ready. Backdoor fiction. Oh my gosh! All right, you guys talk because
I don't have their cards, Chris.
Oh, another underneath the old thing in front of him.
What?
The whiteboard. They're right there.
Oh! Where's that?
Okay, inside there.
Here we go. Fact or fiction. Okay.
So Joe doesn't know that I have CNC now, so I'm in your top right corner, Joe.
All right.
Everybody can see everybody.
You are
picture king right now.
All right, so the way
this is going to work, guys.
Chris is going to read a question. It's going to be a true or false question, fact or fiction question. You're going to just write real quick, fact, fiction. Show it to the camera. Honor system, don't look around, don't cheat. If you get it right, you stay in. If you get it wrong, you drop out. Last person standing is the winner of this glorious trophy.
Right.
Which you have to get back at the end of the show.
Yeah, that's mine. I won that.
But it's a great joke.
I can't wait to tell you what it is.
All right, Chris.
All right.
Fact or fiction.
In the city. In what city would you find the Wizard of Oz? Fact would be. I'm sorry. Fact or fiction? Would it be the Emerald City?
The Wizard of
Oz is found in the Emerald City. Fact or fiction?
Thank you, Joe. First time reading the question. Trying to get that outline right.
Yes. So the cameras?
I can't see it.
All right.
Who's out?
Everybody still stands,
Chris.
All right.
All right, let's see here. So the standard 7-inch vinyl single is usually played at what RPM?
Chris!
Keep asking questions.
I'm sorry. Yeah, my bad. Is the standard for a 7-inch single vinyl 75 RPM? Is that what it usually spins at?
75 RPM?
Mm-hmm. 75. Fact or fiction.
7.5 vinyl inch record is played at 75 RPMs. Fact or fiction.
I like how you wrote that.
And he had the answer is 45.
45. It's fiction.
All right.
Everybody still stands.
Hamburgers were originated in the city and country of Hamburg, Germany.
So the question again?
Hamburgers originated in the city
of
Hamburg, Germany.
That's a good one. I like that.
Fact
or fiction.
Oh, look at it. They all went with fiction.
That is a fact.
Oh! Eliminated everybody.
All right.
Y'all all still in. That's how that works.
Y'all are all still in.
All right. Wow.
That sounds
good.
I felt like it was like an Americanized.
Barry Bonds holds the most home runs in a single major league game season. Season. Maybe baseball.
Barry Bonds. Most home runs in a single season.
Fact or fiction?
Amethyst?
I would not know, honestly.
Two fictions, one fact.
That is fact.
Oh!
And home runs in 2001.
Wow, look at that.
Well, we have a winner then.
Calvin
Double elimination.
Good job!
Calvin Weaver.
You win the trophy!
Trophy gets back.
Calvin, you are the proud winner of the 2002 Texas State Finals Best Party Wear.
What was you wearing? What was you wearing, Chris?
See, now your question to solve is what were you wearing in 2002 that they're recognizing for your best party wear?
What was it?
You're gonna have to come to the next party.
We will be there then.
It was obviously impressive, whatever it was, Calvin.
That trophy's almost tall as I am.
There you go. Yeah. So, my wife and kids both competed in like boatloads of pageants and whatnot. Like when I swear my wife's dowry was like 3,000 trophies. All right. Wow. When I got her, I got like the entire living room and 3 feet deep of trophies. It was madness. It took me years to like get rid of them. Like early on, all of them were like really important to her.
Wow.
And then over time, like some of them. And we just ended up with like the big ones after a while.
So,
So
you got rid of the plastic ones. And
yeah.
Then, okay, and then you.
I kept joking that I was going to melt them down and build our first car for our kids. So I don't have to buy a car. I can just melt these down and make one. So like faux gold car they could drive around in.
There you go.
So
It probably wouldn't be very stable.
Right.
I'd be worried about it on the road.
Yeah, true story.
Smart car.
Yeah. So 2002 best
smart
party
cars
wear.
are evil.
Smart cars.
They're really dumb cars. You call them dumb cars. They're not smart. They're
Ow, the next show. That's the next show.
The next show. Our smart cars. Are they evil?
Are they smart or dumb?
Are they really evil? All right. I don't know how much time we've spent there, Chris. What? Because I didn't start my timer.
Yeah, you and me both, brother.
How many beers?
Yeah. All right. Hey, I'm working on number 2. All right. Chill.
That was the 4th break. We should be about 44 minutes into the show if it's time for a break.
47 minutes in.
Yeah, 47 minutes in. That's where we should be. What time is it?
47.
It's 47.
Time to pay the sponsors.
That's right. I mean, we nailed it. We got right up to the break. Nailed it. We got one more. That's what she said. Oh, sorry. See, I've had enough beers where that layer of filtering. You just witnessed it. You just witnessed it right there. That layer of filtering just dropped right there.
That was nice.
The show.
And that's what she said.
That would have been really funny if I spit it out. If I spit it out.
I call it clinkable moment.
The next segment is obviously that's what she said segment of the show. All right, so when we come back, we've got to take a break. We're already overdue this, but when we come back from the break, we're gonna have like closing thoughts on the subject, and then we're gonna hear from our musical guests. So make sure you stick around for that. Mad musical talent from Red's 13.
Yes,
I nailed it.
You nailed it.
That's what she said. Sorry. Wow! It seemed really like faster than
that was fast.
Yeah, it seemed it was fast. I spilled a tiny little bit of beer. I was trying
Look
to
at
fix
you,
it.
being the drunk girl
That's
at
what
the
she
party.
said.
Wow.
He is the drunk girl.
I normally swallow.
Oh, God!
No! No! But I spilled.
That's enough for you.
Oh, that is so inappropriate. I can't believe you
I
said
didn't know
that.
how inappropriate it could be on this show, but now that I know
It's
what
all
the
just-
bar is set.
It's you'd have to keep it to insinuation
Oh
only.
yeah, watch this.
Yeah.
Here we go.
Whew. All right. We try to say PG-13 on
I
the
said
show.
hoo-ha, okay? Like, that's how I was going with
Right.
it.
You
know?
did a good job of
That was
filtering.
good.
That was before like 2 or 3 beers in, so yeah.
Hey, I'm only at 2 beers, guys. Come on.
I'm at 3 beers, 2 glasses of
It's
wine.
not even 5 yet.
Yeah. We stick around for the 7th break. We're on to whiskey shots.
No!
Just
Just
break
break
like
cowboy
cowboy
movie.
movie.
Cowboy movie.
5 o'clock March
Show
show tonight at Hardy Nance.
There's
something going on here?
Yeah, that's Nightmares show number 2. 5 and 9, Hardy Nance.
You're right.
I am celebrating my 50th birthday party
night
at a
Oh.
at a dueling piano bar that has not paid sponsorship, so I will not mention them.
Yeah.
It's an humble, yes. Nightmare show number 2.
That's
Look at you
right.
go.
You
That's
did,
pretty
man.
impressive.
And our wedding anniversary show's next Friday at Moonshine Hill.
All right. So, closing thoughts, guys. We're going to wrap this up. Got like a minute a piece. Then we're going to cut to a killer song. I'm super looking forward to hearing.
Awesome.
Yep. All right, so closing thoughts. Has your views changed at all on this? Different angles, different thoughts on it, anything?
I'm obviously I heard everybody's standpoint on it, and there are
And
things
you're all wrong!
No. I think that obviously science is behind it. That's a fact. I've always been backing with science. I'm not the most religious person, so I'm like, science all the way. I love philosophy. That's like my thing. So, obviously.
Who's your favorite philosopher?
Who's my favorite philosopher?
Joe Orsak.
Yeah, other
than me.
Not you, God.
Other than
me.
Well, let's see.
Music.
I mean, that's
a given.
Slipknot.
Kirk.
Kierkegaard.
Kurt Cobain.
Soren Kierkegaard.
Yeah.
Existentialist.
No.
Kurt Cobain predicted that Donald Trump was to be president.
Did he?
Yeah, before he blew his head out.
Wow.
He did. It's a fact.
Took a load off.
Wow.
Did you know that?
I got a chuckle out of the co-host on that one. That was literally blew my mind.
Oh no!
What? I know it's not too soon.
These are medic
puns.
Just saying.
Joe Orsak, pun king. Thank you.
Puns for
dad jokes forever.
Dad jokes forever. Yes. So not a big.
Anyway,
big position change. I'm sorry.
Awkward moment.
Yeah.
No, I mean, like everybody stated, we're accepting of everybody. At the end of the day, I personally know people that are transgender, so
Me too.
I'm sure we all do
me
at
too.
some crossing in our lives. So whenever they tell me their story, I empathize. I'm a very empathetic person, and I always have been and always will be. So doesn't matter what side we're coming from, I'm always going to be pretty much center ground. Honestly, I got to be honest with you. So
I
If
honestly,
the world could be
know,
more empathetic to each other's feelings, that would be more
Yeah.
understanding to how we
I-
want to be
I,
a certain way, we're going to be that way.
I'm really flustered with society about this issue. I really am, because if when it's related to sex, the LGBTQ, I think that's all the acronyms or
No,
initials.
there's several more.
Yeah.
There's a
I
chart
think
and a graph now.
Yeah, a chart and a graph, exactly. I think anytime it touches sex, they like rally around and like, let's get the banners and flags out and everything else, and you're part of our camp, and nobody can disagree with you, or they're a bigot and a horrible human being. And when it comes to this issue in particular, I really feel like there's a mental thing going on that needs counseling. It needs that thought needs help. Whatever's going on internally.
It needs to be like
Suicide rate that's through the roof, and it's not just because society is unaccepting or families are unaccepting, because you can measure it around the world, and there's communities or societies where it's very accepted. It's not an issue. Yet the suicide rate is still through the roof. There's a genuine issue going on in the psyche, and just like anorexia is a body dysmorphia, it's a person who looks at the body and sees something other than what the reality is. No one is saying we just need to accept the anorexic person's view of their body and help them be skinny. Like, nobody does that, because we know there's something going on. There's an issue that they need to get help with. And I look at it the same way, but because our society is so freaking driven to where, like, oh, you cannot, if it's related to sex, you cannot in any way, shape, or form disagree with them, otherwise you're a bigot. And because of that, the person isn't getting the help they really should have. And for me, that's how I see it.
I have to agree. I don't know why it's centered around sex or your orientation or your gender or whatever. But for a person to believe that they are something that they're not is a problem. Like I said earlier, I'm not a chicken. I don't play for the Astros. If I tried to go into the clubhouse, I would be arrested. It doesn't matter how much I believe that I am an Astro, I'm not getting in.
I'm a little bit offended because I am an NBA professional.
In your own mind. In your own mind.
And you can believe that all you want.
I have like
problem.
No vertical league.
Don't try and go into the locker room. That's
Bill Murray.
Right.
Can't play for the pros.
Yes.
And I think most conservatives, most people who believe like I do that it's a science thing, you can't change it, you are who you are. I think most people also would say whatever you want to do is fine.
Yeah. I think that is kind of a common kind of a deal. It's like be and do whatever the heck you want, but as soon as it starts crossing over into my world, then that's when people have a problem.
Right.
Yeah, it's how you treat people and how you deal with it once it does. That's where it gets sticky.
Mm-hmm.
Like how do you treat people? That's where I end up on the other side of the fence, where I become defensive for the people on the other side of the fence, because it's all the herd thing I was talking about earlier.
Right.
I'm like, you just because the person's stepping out of the herd doesn't mean you need to beat up on them and be horrible to them. So,
right.
So
anyway,
we're gonna have to start taking the whiteboards away from them after we're done.
There you go. I was trying to figure out what his name is.
I wrote a thesis on him.
I was in philosophy class and I got an A, but it's been like a year and a half. So I was like, fudge, put me on the spot.
Yeah. Started off literally doubting his own existence.
Yes, and he put everybody in, or like those 4 people that went into the cave, and they were supposed to come out, and
I think you're referring to Plato's analogy of the cave.
Was it the okay?
That was Platonic thinking. That's right. Yeah. You're touching several different philosophers. Yep.
I love Plato. I play with it all the time.
Yep. And it's quite tasty. We need to go to a musical performance. I want to see a musical performance. This is the time. Zone in on me. Our production crew, cameraman. I have your attention. Like, cameraman, are you zoomed in on me? I'm talking to you, Chris.
I know you're talking to me.
Because we are going to go to a brilliant performance by Angie and Cisco. And that's actually her name.
That's Red.
And Red's 13. Right? Red's 13. Red's 13.
You got that right, sir.
Yes.
Thank you for not calling me Amethyst, Amber, A-hole, Anastasia.
We're going to go to an awesome live performance right now from Red's 13. Tell us what you're playing and take it away.
We're playing Shadow, and it's an original song. We're from the Clear Lake area. We're called Red's 13. So, yeah. All right. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4.
Lightning, sparking everything on fire. I knew it would be harder to calm that spark right down. Riding through the night with ambition and a hidden cigarette. Feeling your become a different thing. Sometimes the words would all fall out in a different way. I come to find myself begging to feel that high again. Well, it was just the ugly darkness seeping in. I fell in love with the shadow sleeping on my bed. The touch of his hands on my back, and now I feel okay. I don't feel okay. I fell in love with the shadow sleeping on my bed. The touch of his hands on my back, and now I feel okay. I don't feel okay. We're playing
Yes! Rock and roll, Shadow. Another awesome song on the art of dispute. You guys killed it. Way to go, Chris. We're nailing it. We're nailing it.
Nailed it.
That's right. Bringing on the mad talent. I mean, expect the calls from, like American Idol, The Voice. They'll be after you from now on. I'm just going to say. Another awesome show in the can. Art of Dispute. Make sure you find us on YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, Twitch, Periscope, wherever else we exist. I don't even know anymore. Another great show. We'll be back next week. Same time, same channel. See you then.